if it's seen that he's lying and there's been a cover-up, that will be the end of him. I can't see Farage making such a statement as a bluff or not having the correct information, because this is going to come out fairly soon. This is like 5 years from now, I'll get away with it. So he knows something. Social media is all the buzz, and there's talk about Starmer's involvement with the Southport killer's dad, about when he came over here from Rwanda. There's talk about his dad was involved in the massacre. These things we can talk about because we're not talking about the Southport case, as in court case. So was his dad part of the massacre? Because let's be honest, most people of Rwanda were part of the massacre. They were chopping each other up like it was going out of fashion.
Well, it was the Houthis and the
Tutsi.
But I think it was it the Houthis who were killed or the Tutsi who I can't remember. I'm sure my ignorance.
At
least I know that.
Yeah.
I have actually been to Rwanda.
Right. Do you remember the Hollywood film about Rwanda? Hotel Rwanda?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, the black guy, it's all about him.
Yes.
He's now in prison in The Hague. Turns out he was part of it.
Oh, you're joking.
No, that was a couple of years ago. Got sentenced in The Hague. He's doing time now. He was part of the massacre and made millions on the back of I'm a Hero. So they're all as bad as each other. This is Africa, by the way. You know, they've been like this for millennia, killing each other. But yeah, so all these rumours about Keir Starmer was his solicitor, his barrister, and another one was like he helped his uncle. There's all sorts of things going on there. I consider bringing down Starmer.
And the reason it would bring down Starmer is, I mean, I think I know why, but if you could articulate why you think it would bring down Starmer. That
if Starmer hadn't helped him come to the country and stay in the country, he wouldn't have had a son who then went on to potentially, if proven guilty in court, murdered then 3 girls in Southport.
What we're effectively saying is, if this is true, and it's just rumours at the moment, if this is true, our Prime Minister would be directly linked, if not responsible for, the death of 3 young girls in Southport.
You'd be able to say that our Prime Minister's actions allowed someone in the country whose son then went on to commit murder.
And these are not remote actions like I'm going to start a war in Iraq or whatever. These are specific actions related to individuals that allegedly our Prime Minister was involved with directly.
I've also read that the father of the accused is actually a human rights lawyer. Is trained, and he's a human rights lawyer now.
Who, Alphonse Rudiker-Barr?
Yeah.
I thought, oh right, is he?
I read that. I don't know if any of these things are true. I don't know. But again, if that's true, the story could be how often has he worked with Keir Starmer when he was a barrister. So this is a spider's web. We don't know where any of this is going to lead to. And then if some of this can be proven, even if it's not as bad as we think it is, but if there's some connection between Starmer and this family, accusations then will be, no wonder you clamped down, no wonder you stopped all the press, because you've got connections with the family. He's a barrister. He should know. If any of this is true, he should have known. He should have announced all this at the beginning. He should have said, this is terrible what's going on here now, but I've got some professional connections with the family historically. I need to let the people know that, and I'm going to keep out of this so there's no conflict of interest. That's what a barrister would have done. But the fact he didn't, and again, if any of this is true, and we have no idea if it is or if it isn't, if any of this is true, it is a breach of trust. It will look and smell really bad. But
it would be remarkable if any of this is true, that there's if there would be an alleged direct connection between our Prime Minister and a murderer of 3, a case that shocked the country. It would be pretty remarkable if that was the case. But
it would be, but again, I don't think that should be enough to bring down a prime minister because it's not his fault. He was doing his job, blah, 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 blah. It's the cover-up.
The cover-up is the issue.
That's what we learned with is it Watergate in America?
Yes.
When Nixon...
Yeah, Watergate wasn't the fact he did it.
No.
It was the fact they tried to cover it.
It was the lying and the cover-up that brings people down.
Yeah.
So if he should have put it all out in the open, because surely he should have known you can't keep secrets.
But let's assume it is true. If it is true that he defended this character, if he'd have announced that immediately, his prime ministership would have been over anyway. Surely. I'm not defending.
I think it got. But don't forget, there's many barristers who have represented many people they don't like. It's their job.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's the honesty. So it would have been a hard time for him. Of course it would have been. It would have been a hard time, and he may not have survived, but it would have been a hard time. But if it's seen that he's lying and has been a cover-up, that will be the end of him.